Good morning, guys. Guess what is me? Ha ha ha. We drove all night and we made it back to my house. Why are we not on drift week? We are. Technically, I'm going to call this still be on drift week. We just chose a different location to fix the car. So the long of the short is the car started making some engine noise. Instead of tearing it apart and trying to determine what it was at the track, audibly, I decided it was something serious enough to address. And we were 9 hours from home, and I knew we had at least 1 day off, and then 2 days at the ridge, and then 2 more days off. And so the best option to have a good time was to bring it back to my house and make sure everything's 100%. This is not a car I want to mess with. I don't want to do a roadside repair. I want a real repair because this is a long-term car. More important than drift week, this car needs to do other stuff. It needs to make me money as a ride-along car for the ride-along programs that we do. So I decided I wanted to do a thorough repair on it, and by doing that would mean coming home and using all the parts and the tools and stuff I've got to make sure that the engine's 100%. So we're gonna unload, try and fix it as quick as we can. We've got about 4 days to do this. I'm gonna miss the ridge, which I'm really bummed about, but kind of is what it is at this point. I'm not giving up. We want to go back to drift week. Also, my buddy Matt that works with me, he's going to be going up there. He already decided he was going to go to the Medford one, and I told him I'd go there and I wanted to drive with him, so I don't want to miss out on that. So we have to go back to Medford. It's about 14-hour drive, 12, 13, 14-hour drive away. So I want to make sure the car's good 100%. So the next few days are going to be videos of us fixing whatever's wrong with it and getting back on track. Hi, neighbor. Did you get some sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Best sleep night I ever.
We both drove all night to get here. Before we left, I came into my shop and I was just grabbing tools and parts and putting cars on lift or jack stands to get extra wheels. And so now, this was not on the plan. The plan was not cleaning the shop before I left, but now that we have to use the lift to fix the car, we have to, arrumar. What's the word for that?
Clean it up?
Yeah, clean it up, organize, just move stuff around. I don't.
I teach you your language.
It's such a good word. It's a good word. Clean it up. Arrumar. I guess it's the same syllables, but 3 words versus 1 word.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got stuff to move around. I'm not gonna bore you with all that crap, but I gotta move some cars around, make space for the car, find an engine, take the other one apart, do some diagnostics. So we're gonna film the process. Since we're not drifting, we might as well show the process of fixing the car, right? It's interesting either way. So that's gonna be the next couple videos, is us figuring it out, fixing the car, and getting back to Medford to have a good time drifting. Gotta move some cars out of the shop. I thought about taking this on drift week, but over here. Really, all we'd have to do is paint this thing and it would be ready to go, but I really don't want to drive that on drift week. I want to finish the car we started in. Actually, no, it needs an ECU also. It's got a mega squirt and it has problems. It doesn't run very well. All right, we're making progress for sure. You'd like it? What, the steering wheel?
Yeah.
No, it's fine, no problem. It still drives.
Oh yes.
Should we take this instead?
Oh yes.
It's ready to go.
I don't need a giant bucket.
It's just like your truck.
Oh yeah.
It's the same, exactly the same.
Yeah. I love it. The best part is I love it.
All right, so we're making progress. Getting things moved around and cleaned up, putting pallets up. Not what I wanted to be doing during drift week, but sometimes you gotta do things to make other things happen. Okay, car's up on the lift. First things first is to get the oil out and see what it looks like. We got the oil filter tightened by Jake, the ASE Master Tech. I put that because last time I was gonna drain the oil out, he tightened it like super mega tight and I couldn't reach it, or I couldn't get it undone. Also, this is a Wix Protec, but I added a T there, a protection, hoping that it would protect the engine, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. Where's the oil at? Is there no oil? Oh, there we go. There's the oil. Okay, I'll let that drip for a minute. So we definitely had a little bit of metal in the oil. It was a very, very faint noise. Of course, I was afraid that it was knocky, but still not sure what's going on here. We got to do our forensic diagnostics and figure out what's actually going on with this thing. All right, so we're back in my house. We left Walla Walla about 24 hours ago. And we're finally, I mean, we've been at my house for a while, but we had to go to my shop, run some errands, get parts. Pinto actually has a car at my shop, and so he wants to work on it a little bit on his trip here. So while we're doing both these things, he's gonna work on that a little bit. But it is, what time is it? It's 7 p.m. and we're finally getting started on working on this. So we'll see how much time it takes to get this all figured out. And we have some ideas. I'm not sure I'm gonna tell you yet, later in the video. Have some ideas what we're gonna do on this car for an engine, because this was never meant to be a fast car. This was meant to be for giving ride-alongs and making money for me that way and being reliable. So, got some ideas on this one, but we'll show you that in a minute. This video is probably gonna be a lot of time lapse because I don't wanna do all the detailed stuff. I'm just gonna show kind of the whole process, and then when we get to the nitty-gritty, we'll get into that stuff. But it's hard trying to keep all this going and trying to keep posting videos every day throughout this week, but that's the goal. So stay tuned for more videos after this because we're gonna be driving again. That's the goal, we're gonna be driving again. So the first thing I wanna do before we get too far is I wanna check the compression on this engine and see where we're at, because mainly for the cylinder head. I wanna know, it sounded really weak when we were cranking it. It had one cylinder that sounded weaker than the rest. Which I've had with other engines, especially when you have a 6-cylinder, you can hear it cranking, and it's cranking slow enough where you can actually kind of gauge the compression of each cylinder. When you get a usually that's a low resistance on one cylinder, which tells you it's got less than ideal compression. So the easiest way to check compression, obviously, is while the engine's still in the car before we take it out. We're going to take this engine out and take it apart to see what's wrong with it, but I want to test the cylinder head to see if it's something we're going to reuse. If the problem's in the cylinder head, whatever. This is just a good indicator if there's a broken ringland or if there's a valve problem or whatever. P2 found aluminum in the intercooler from when the turbo failed. So there's a possibility there's aluminum stuck to one of the intake valves or exhaust valves or anything like that. But either way, the compression test is a good way to start to diagnose any problems like that. So we're gonna do a compression test 1 through 6 and then start taking the car apart. When we do a compression test, I like to do like 7 or 8 cranks. We'll do 7 on this one. Ready? Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 80 PSI. That's not great. 75, 78. Not great at all. Let's go to the next one. Number 2, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 150. That's a lot better.
Way better.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Number 3, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 142. Number 4, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost the same. 150. Same as number 2. Number 5, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Close to 150. What is that? 146. Number 6, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stopped early. 154. All right, so definitely number 1 is our culprit. So that tells us what to look for when we start taking it apart. All the other ones are right around 150, which is really healthy, which it should be because it's almost a brand new engine. I mean, it is a brand new engine. It's got 1 track day on it. Well, 1.5, and a bad turbo lap. So this at least gives us an idea of what to go for. Pinto just reminded me that there's no oil in it when we were doing that compression test, but whatever. We're taking it out anyways.
Without the spark plugs, don't make pressure on the crankshaft too much. But
Well, plus there's Lucas in there. Lucas saves everything, or it destroys it.
we don't know.
Okay, back to work. We'll pull this thing out. All right, so you can actually see right here, there is some oily aluminum stuff from the intercooler piping. Yeah, there's definitely some sparkle in there. So probably a bad idea to drive a couple laps with the bad turbo. I don't know if it was because of that, but I'm sure it didn't help. The turbo might have been completely seized by the time I drove it, but either way, it was basically grinding up the wheel in there and just putting oily aluminum stuff all through the intercooler and all the way up to here. So I'm sure some of it got into the motor. How big of a problem that is, I don't know yet, but we'll take the cylinder head out and vacuum check it for sure. Okay, we got the engine out. It wasn't that bad. What is that, maybe 2 hours? What time did you get here, do you remember? 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
8:30?
8.
8 o'clock, what is it, 10, 20?
10.
10 o'clock?
2 hours.
2 hours, not bad. And we didn't start until he
Yeah,
got
but
here.
me
A
and
little
him-
bit.
me and
Ah,
him,
come
we
on,
are
come on.
Hard workers.
No, that's not stuff. So when we took the engine out, the engine mount came out in 2 pieces, and it is actually designed to be 1 piece. So that's a problem. Problem number 1. Problem number 2 is we still don't know what's wrong with the engine. So I don't know which is a bigger problem.
Maybe the noise is the tap of the
Oh, so
engine mount
we just put that back, replace it, and go back to Washington?
to see if
Put
it's
this engine right back in. So now we need to take the transmission apart, take this off, put it on the engine stand, do the whole disassembly, forensic diagnostics, and figure out what we're gonna do. Still have a plan. I'm not gonna tell you yet, but we have a plan. Another long day, long night, late night. Pinto got the cylinder head taken off on this thing, and it looks pretty good inside actually. All the cylinder walls look good. The burn on the pistons looks good. The bottom of the cylinder head looks good. So I think we're dealing with probably a valve issue for the compression, and we still haven't found the noise yet. We need to take apart the bottom end and see what it looks like inside of there. So I think we're dealing with multiple issues here. But my plan, what I'm thinking about doing, the purpose of this car when I initially started building it was to make this a ride-along car. We have a ride-along program here that we do that we have to be able to service a lot of people throughout, a single day of rides. And I need a 4-door car that's reliable, that looks good, and can do the job, right? And a turbo car is not great for that because reliability goes down. Oh, and that doesn't kill tires like crazy, right? So it has to meet all that criteria. And this car meets most of it other than having too much horsepower and obviously ends up not being reliable. So my long-term goal with this car, like I said, is to make it a ride-along car. My plan is to put a naturally aspirated engine in it. I have ITBs. It already has the ECU. So tomorrow we're going to try and build a high compression NA motor with the ITBs and get everything to work. So I think that's pretty optimistic, but definitely doable. Man, those brakes look really good. And I have no idea what power it's going to make. I want to get it on the dyno and see if it'll, break 200, 220, something like that, and just make this car really, really fun to drive. And if it's not fun to drive, then I'll put a shorter diff ratio in it. I actually have a 4.8 differential that I could build and put in it. Obviously not for Drift Week, but in the future. So that's the plan. We'll see if that works out for tomorrow. But there's not really another option. So that's what's going to happen. But that's it for tonight. We'll catch you guys in the morning. We still got 2 days worth of work to do before we have to leave to get to Medford. So we got a full long day tomorrow to make it happen. So I'm going to run this cylinder head over to our machine shop guy and have him fix it up. He said he can do it tomorrow. That's putting us on a tight timeline, But either way, that's a backup. If he doesn't finish it, I'll use the cylinder head that's on the other engine. If he does, then we got this one with the shimless buckets and all the good stuff. But I'm not going to run this with 75 psi of compression. You know, whatever that ends up being on the other engine, but definitely needs a valve job. So unfortunately, we are not going to have time to do the forensic diagnostics on this right now. I'll do that another time. But what we did accomplish is we were able to find an engine. It was actually, I always joke about this, is I just pull an engine off the shelf and put it in the car, but I never actually do it. This time, literally, I pulled an engine down from that pallet. If I get an engine that I know has problems like rod knock or a bad head gasket, I would literally just write it with a Sharpie on the valve cover. And so one of them said rod knock. This one said nothing. I couldn't remember where I got it from. So Pinto took it apart, found the bearings were in really good shape. I forgot to film that, but it literally looked like brand new. Really, really good condition. Can you confirm?
Yes. So if anything happens, it's my fault because I said that I saw it.
You opened the Toyota Magic. The Toyota Magic left. So we got the engine assembled. I spared you all the details of all that, but we cleaned it as best we could. Swapped most of the parts over. We're going to leave the manifolds off for now. And then we're going to put the transmission and then put it in the car. Here's the spicy secret. Where's the spicy secret? This engine is going to have ITB, individual throttle bodies. My friend Nick Stuckey tipped me off a while ago to when these went on sale. It was actually on Walmart.com. I'm going to call these the Walmart throttle bodies.
Really?
Yeah. So I bought them on Walmart.com and it was $275, $300, just under $300 for these throttle bodies. And I said, someday I want to try this out on an IS300 and see how it works. One thing we decided to do was to drill little tubes in here so we can build a balance manifold between this and then take that to our map sensor reference. But I'm pretty excited about this because I want a high revving, high compression 2J. I'm not going to be able to build this one how I want it with high compression and cams and all that, but sometime in the future. One thing that I'm going to do with all this stuff is do some dyno testing and see what we can get with ITBs on a completely stock, no idea how many miles. I'm just going to say 150,000 because to find a NA2J with less than 150,000 is impossible. So a high mileage 2J with ITBs, I'm really hoping to see, what do you think?
How many you have from factory?
210. I'm going to say 210 horsepower. I don't know. We need to look it up.
From factory, how many?
I think it's 220.
220?
Yeah. So I don't know. I have high hopes.
I don't know either.
We have ethanol, which gives more power. We can increase the timing, and we have ITBs. So I think 210 is my number, I think. The one other thing is I'm not sure what we're going to do about injectors. There's no reason to put 1000 cc injectors from the other engine, but there's also no reason not to use factory injectors because they should be able to flow whatever factory power there is, even a little bit above the factory power. So I'm probably going to try and put factory injectors in. If not, I could definitely use 1J VVTi injectors. I have literally a box of 100 1J VVTi injectors. So we have options there, but it's going to be some sort of lower flow factory injector for this. I'm so used to going big power, big turbo, all that stuff. Like this is kind of challenging my process a little bit, but I'm excited about that. So tomorrow, engine in car. Hopefully the car's running, and then we can do some serious dyno testing. That'll be the fun part. So I filled it up with oil. I want to get the oil circulated through the engine before we start it up. Still have a lot of stuff to do to connect, a lot of wires to connect and other stuff. But we got the oil hooked up, and I want to kind of prime it and see how it sounds, see how the compression sounds and all that. So I'm going to give it a crank, see what it does. Filter's completely dry. Gotta figure out why oil's not getting up to the filter. That's a problem. All right, we got a lot of stuff going on here. We'll have a little bit to do tomorrow. This wiring, I just did it for testing, so I gotta finish wiring up those injector connectors. The exhaust is only the header, so we have to go from the header all the way back with the fancy HKS muffler. But we spent a little bit of time getting it running and whatnot. So let's do a startup on it. Throttles. We can't do it yet, but we're getting there. Also, I don't want to wake up my neighbors. It's 2 a.m. Tomorrow's our last day before we have to leave. So tomorrow is basically do the exhaust, finish the wiring, and then go to the dyno. I want to spend a good amount of time on the dyno because I think it's going to be complicated doing this kind of tuning. I don't have any experience with it. I don't know if I have to do alpha N or if we can actually rely on the map sensor, but I want to spend enough time to actually learn myself about it, ask other people for advice, and spend a bunch of time on the dyno and try and squeeze every last little horsepower. Because when you have a turbo, you just add boost and you can get your horsepower. But with this, you have to squeeze every bit of horsepower with tuning. So it'll be a good lesson for me. I'm excited to do ITBs, and I really want it to sound good. But that's it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, we got the car running. We're pretty well set up. I just had to scab together a scabby exhaust. Got a 2.5-inch exhaust with 1, 2, 3.5 mufflers, because everybody knows that an NA 6-cylinder sounds terrible if it doesn't have mufflers. Just like a BMW, just like an IS300 if you cut the exhaust off or run a straight pipe. So I don't want that thing to be annoyingly loud. I actually want to be able to hear the throttles. So this is probably the quietest car I've ever had, I hope, but it's gonna sound good. So I'm gonna weld the rest of that up. We're gonna put it in the trailer, go to the dyno, and get everything sorted out tuning wise. All right, so we have a slight plot twist. Right, Pintu? We have a slight plot twist.
Yeah.
The hoses have a lot of pressure, and the temperature was only up to 82 Celsius, and the fan kicks on at 85. So it wasn't even kicking the fan on, and we've already got pretty high water temp, which we only figured out is because the cap opened and started pushing pressure, and this hose had slipped off, so it was leaking on the ground. So I told you guys this is an unknown engine. The only thing that Pinto was able to verify was the bottom end, the bearings. There's no way to test a head gasket until you run it. So I don't know if we have a head gasket problem, but it is possible. It is very possible. But we did take the cylinder head from the old engine to the machine shop yesterday, and he got everything fixed. So that head is ready to go. And I brought a head gasket in all this mess here. So we're gonna take the head gasket with us, and we're gonna take the extra cylinder head with us, and we're gonna take the copper spray with us. And if that turns into a problem, it should only take us, I say, maybe 2 hours to do the head gasket at the track. So I hope not, but maybe, and we're definitely gonna go prepared. Let me show you what we got here. We got the ITBs, we got a janky looking fuel line, we got another fuel line that I still don't know if it clears the hood or not. And then I made the throttle cable go through there. This little bracket. We had to get a GM TPS and then do some wonky drilling, but it does work. This was only like $24 from O'Reilly. And that's it. I still need to get a vacuum reference. We have balanced tubes underneath there running to the map sensor. We have no brake booster. And that's about all I can think of. It's pretty cool. far so good. Let's go to the dyno and blow the head gasket. Last thing I want to check is the timing. So we go to primary trigger, we set ignition lock, and then, where is it? Ignition angle 10 degrees. Come out here to the timing light. I built this special tool for this. You have to cut all the metal off of there and then shorten it and make it so that fits in there. We use the timing light set to 10 degrees, so the crank should measure on 0. You see it? Crank is on 0. We are all set. Didn't have to touch anything. Now, we gotta move that crap and put the car in the trailer. Let's go. This? What have you guys been up to while I was gone? Matt, the new guy. I hire a new guy and he's cutting apart cans of brake clean. Times are tough around here. No idea what I'm doing, but I'm excited to do it. All right, we found it. Mystery solved. There it is. I was wondering what was going on out there. You didn't clean up your trash outside. All I saw was all I saw was a straw and the top of the thing, and I'm like, where? Like Jesse's filming me pulling the dyno, and I'm like, yo, what is this? Stop what you're doing. What is that? And then look, it's full circle. Mystery solved.
Catch can.
I don't know what this guy's up to.
Not
but
much.
That's actually a pretty good catch can. I got a Mountain Dew and a Dr. Pepper, but I
had
guess
to one up you.
this is your flavor.
I was gonna use a soda can, and I was
your
like, nah, bro. Like,
California compliant, watered down brake clean can. There we go.
that's it, baby.
What else you got?
There's a filter in there though.
All right, that's fine. It's
Is it
fine.
filtered?
I'm not knocking it. I respect it. But what do you got going on here? What are we doing? Are you gonna tell me, or do I have to guess?
I think of a failed ring, so I just gotta alleviate some pressure.
Huh? Well, we can't see it from here, so we can only assume that it's
It's
failed.
just gotta last 2 days, man.
Didn't you say it boosted to 20 psi on the dyno?
No, it was not on the dyno.
Oh, on the street.
In Mexico, of course.
So
And it was 22.
you got oil coming out of here, and oil coming out of here.
Eventually.
Okay, that's pretty good. I like it. And where's it gonna go to? To here?
Yeah.
That's not. You need 3 of those. You need 3 of those to hold the oil that you're gonna be blowing out of this thing.
I was gonna run a feeder line out of the car into your IS300. So
Oh, come on.
Fuel like
Just
fuel jets, dude.
spray oil in front of your back tires.
Yeah,
You're going
dude.
all day.
Yeah.
Yep. This is what did it. That's why you have holes in your pistons. It was that. I blame this.
I think it was these.
Maybe.
Don't tell Jules though.
Don't tell Jules.
He's been dogging on my injectors since day one.
These are the same ones?
The ones he didn't like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we won't mention that. So I got the car up on the dyno. Before I do anything else, I want to get one pull with my crappy map, kind of see what it does, and then work from there. There's not a high risk of blowing up an engine that that makes 200 horsepower and no turbo. So I got it to where I think it's safe to do that pull, and I'm just gonna do a full throttle pull, see what our numbers are, and then start working the map and see where we end up after that. But I still need to do an oil change and do a couple things, so this is still kind of breaking it in, flushing the engine out. Pinto's not very happy that I haven't changed the oil yet, but. So let's do our first pull, see what we get. So I have the numbers here, but I want everyone to guess what these numbers are, because I'm a little bit surprised. I'm not going to guess because I know. Matt,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I think 230.
230?
Yeah.
Pinto, do you have a guess?
No.
I'll maybe.
I
Just by the sound?
210. 210.
What is it, the Price is Right?
Yeah, I'm just trying. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. 210.
You don't have a guess, Pinto?
Yeah, maybe
210 is the same number?
Yeah, 210.
something like
You don't have the Price is Right in Portugal?
210.
Yeah,
I say 120 torque.
We got 170 torque and 183 horsepower.
Honestly, that's
So my goal is to get above 200 tonight. That's my only goal. So I'm not used to seeing torque like this. Usually torque comes up and then as the boost comes in, you gain a ton of torque. And I have never done an NA car, to be honest with you. So it comes up and our torque is actually, what do we have? 148 right here, and it only climbs up to 168, 170. So that's like really flat torque, which is awesome. And the horsepower just keeps climbing. I might be able to rev it to 8,000, but I don't know how much I'm really gonna gain up there. I'll mess with that when I get there, but it looks like 180 horsepower at 6,500, and then it comes down a little bit from there. So I don't know if we're gonna gain much after that, but I'm excited to play with it. This was literally just a quote unquote, non-tuned first pull. I wanna see where we can smooth it out, where we can get gains and start messing with VVTI, timing, all that fun stuff. So we'll see where we get. So this is from the last trip, the oil pressure cut enable. I disabled it, and this guy wasn't very happy. He told me that's why it broke. He says if there's a pressure problem, don't turn it off. What about this time? Can I turn it on?
Oh yes.
Pressure cut enable. Pinto only says funny stuff when we're not filming. Whenever I'm what?
I'm chilling.
You're chilling.
I'm chilling.
If you were any more chill, you'd be dead.
I heard that before in this trip.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll stay up all night and then leave tomorrow morning to drive 13 hours tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'm stoked.
I'll drive 3 hours and you can drive the rest. I don't know what the difference is, but I know at least I can drive 3.
You're gonna be with that problem in the future.
Okay, Pinto. He's unhappy that I'm using the Lucas. He thinks
No,
that's
no,
what
I'm not unhappy.
you're unhappy. He
No,
thinks that's what blew up my motor last time. Okay, tell me what you think.
I think you're crazy. Only that.
Well,
You have oil consumption,
yeah, this is a used engine with 200,000 miles.
but you don't know if you have oil consumption.
Well, it can't hurt anything, right? Look, seals worn cylinders. Now we can check the compression. It's probably got high compression now.
no.
What else? Look, there's a NASCAR on there, and there's a tractor. Both a NASCAR tractor and a boat.
Yeah.
It fixes everything.
The tractor gives them money to sponsor that car. If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Wait.
20%. Look, I'm not even using the maximum amount. And you can use up to 60%. That's what Matt said. He's running 50-50.
Yeah, but he's crazy. He's not a. He have a BMW.
Look, you can put it in your gearbox and your engine. It's a one for all.
That
Does
sounds like
everything.
something someone selling snake oil would say.
No, this isn't snake oil.
Oh, your tractor,
It's
your
Luca.
boats, your race cars.
I think he's the seller of the product.
Extends engine life. No, they don't even help me out.
No, extend what?
Engine life.
Give me one of your examples or one example of your engines that extended that life.
Maybe it'll help this one. Maybe this one will be
Maybe.
the first chance. Look, you can also use for assembly lube. Any temperature. It does everything. There's nothing it doesn't do.
Why you don't use it like only for oil?
Are you challenging me?
Yes.
No, I don't want to do that.
Why?
60%, because it says on the bottle 60%.
Oh, everything in the bottle is true.
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's been tested
They
scientifically.
they don't try to sell the product.
Can I put it?
You already put it.
That's right. He tried to hide it from me, but I told him I had more. I've got more where that's from. Can I put that one also?
Yeah, you can put everything. When the engine blows off.
It's not gonna blow.
No, you don't gonna say it's my fault. Like always, it's my fault.
Why would it be your fault?
Everything is my fault in this shop
Can I put that one?
lately. Oh yes.
Will you even open it for me?
Oh, claro.
No, just the whole thing. We don't want a little bit, we need a lot.
I only want you happy.
There we go.
It's natural and artificial flavors. It's good for the engine too. They said here.
Have a drink.
No.
You don't like it?
but they said it's good, and it's blended with oil. 23 flavors. So all the numbers mixed up with this. You only have 150 calories for the engine.
Taste it.
No.
Okay, that's for
For
me.
you. Block Dr. Paper.
So for the alpha end tuning that I'm doing, the dyno's got a cool feature where it'll hold the RPM, so I can set it to 3,000. I already did 1,500, 2,000, 2,500. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. I wanted to figure it out before I told you, so I act like I know what I'm doing. And then so now I can hold it no matter where my throttle position, no matter what the horsepower, no matter what the load. It'll hold the engine at 3,000 RPM. So then you can change your throttle position, and it'll go to any different part of the map, and it'll show you the cells where you're at, and then you can just add fuel. My target is 13.5 until I get above 3,000 RPM, and then I'll be at like 12.8 under higher load. Those are numbers that are given to me by my Portuguese friend, my Brazilian fuel tech tuner friend that is really upset that I use ECU Master. But the numbers are all the same, right? Doesn't matter what ECU you're using. It's all just a means to an end. So I'm gonna get this thing going in 4th gear at 3,000 RPM. And when it gets to timing, you can actually, down here under force, you can actually measure your torque, and then you can maximize your timing the same way, which I might actually do. Go down here. Let's start this. So that'll set us to our 3,000 RPM limit. Scroll down here. To do with one hand. Interesting. This thing makes some weird noises. Got to be timing related when it changes sound. Interesting. All right, I gotta let this cool down for a minute. All right, I've been doing some polls and I decided I want more RPM. So Turned it up to 8,000 on fuel cut. Spark cut is a little bit lower. Where are we at? Soft rev limiter. Let's do 50 RPM control range. Whoa, I guess it wants 100. Let's do that. 100. We'll turn this up to 8,000. Ooh, it doesn't like that. 8,500. Okay. So 8,100 with a 100 RPM control range, so that should cut us at about 8,000. Let's double check the fuel cut. We'll go 8,150, and we'll see what this thing does. Still haven't done a power pull. I'm just cleaning everything up, getting my fueling where I want it. Then I'm gonna start doing timing and all that and do a power pull. But the car's getting really hot from all that solid state tuning. Pressure's going down a little bit, so I want to let it cool down for a minute and then check it out. It sounded really spicy though. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm a little bit disappointed with the results. I'm getting about 179 consistently. I added more timing and it didn't change, so I backed it off. I'm about 26 degrees of timing at full RPM and full TPS. But I don't know. I might try playing with the what do you call it? The cam timing a little bit and see what that does. Because I think I'm maxed out. My fueling is good. My timing is maxed out, so I'm kind of at my limit, but I want to see, maybe I'll add 30 degrees across the board, just like I did in my last video, and then go to 0 and see what the difference is in horsepower. So I did a pull with VVT maxed out at 35 degrees, and you can see right at, it's 4,800. Right in here is where it starts to drop off. So that was my previous run, this was my current run, and it drops off significantly. So at 4,800 is where I'm going to turn the VVTi, start tapering it off for the maximum gains. Now I'm going to do it with 0 across the board and then see where we're at. So just like in my last VVTi video, I learned that in the top end, it stays about the same. It's right after that 5K, 4,800 to 5K. You can see our horsepower and torque stays about the same up top. Actually, I could afford to turn it off. I was running, I think, 12 degrees or 8 degrees or something tapering off, but I should taper off to 0, and I have some gains over there. Now on the bottom end here in the mid-range, I was gaining, or I should say I lost this time, 23 horsepower and like 12 to 15 torque. So there's a big difference in the middle. So VVTi on an NA motor makes a difference of, I can say easily on the dyno, I can say 20 to 25 horsepower measured. You can see the biggest difference there, and torque. So pretty good numbers. So I'm gonna turn that back on and then do my final pulls and then call it a night. All right, this is the last run. I wanna see how it does. Hopefully we can get, I know we're not gonna break 200, but final run of the night. Let's go. 185. Almost 200.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. 181 torque. That was a 4th gear pull. All right. We're gonna load up the trailer and hit the road tomorrow. That's it for tonight. See you guys.